Let's see if we're on.
We're always on, dear.
That's true. Oh,
Greetings and peace from the Sprouts parking lot. It's Tuesday morning.
and I hope we're on.
Well,
This is second parking lot.
anyway, I'm going to go buy veggies, etc., etc. It's cold again, shockingly, but the pollen for some reason is still attacking, and we're still in Sacramento as if we've been kidnapped and held hostage, but we don't care because we're enlightened beings.
Yes.
So,
No prison can
so, so
can
blessings.
hold my soul.
So blessings to you all, and have a good day. And I'm going to try to do the same thing, and so is Lon, and enjoy his whatever he's doing this morning. I have no idea.
Neither do I.
Oh, that means it'll be more fun.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Please get some treats.
Why?
Get cheese. I want some cheese in life. She's not going to do it, too. Well, anyway, I hope we are going. I see some people saying transmission is on. And I tweaked a bunch of things on my phone in order to feel more confident today, anyway. And this morning, if you're still there, hope you had a wonderful May Day. Hope you had a wonderful Walpurgis knock. And are sort of enjoying the season. I'm thinking the other day, the other day for the last 2 weeks, actually, I've been busy recording a couple of actually a four-part workshop. Okay, and for the very first time, I recorded it all from my home equipment. I've got a MacBook Pro that someone was kind enough to actually donate to me. But I didn't know how I could record one of my PowerPoint presentations, and I think I figured out sort of how to do it, and to save it as a movie, as a MOV file. And it's just like the other things that I do for Zoom seminars and other recorded events. And so now I'm toying with the idea of actually doing a one-part workshop or class using a couple hundred PowerPoint slides and my talking, and then just marketing it or making it available directly. Let's see. Okay, I guess I'm still on, and so I'm toying with that idea, and I may do it experimentally, and if it works okay, and I can just send you all a link. I'm toying with that idea, and what I was the first thing that I was going to do would be concerning the sexual alchemy that is the alchemical story that's told in the Thoth Tarot. And I could probably throw that together in short order and have it available if I thought that there was a demand enough for it to do that. So I'm toying with that idea, and so part of that, as I was going through my material, I sort of want to give a preview of what that is and what it's about, and when it comes right down to it, it is the secret of the mechanism of Yod He Vav He of the Tetragrammaton. And I got myself the Book of Thoth here, and let's see. The quote from Crowley is, "The Rosicrucian doctrine of Tetragrammaton could hardly be more adequately stated. To every ear that is to heavenly harmony attuned." Well, part of that workshop would be to get your ear attuned to that heavenly harmony. As Shakespeare, I got a quote from Shakespeare, or Crowley does here, "There's not a planet in the firmament, but in his motion like an angel sings, still choiring to the young-eyed cherubim. But while this muddy vesture of decay doth wrap us round, our nature cannot hear it." Well, let's try to get it to be heard. I'm going to, let's see, I'm very unorganized today because this is how I am. Let's see, what was I going to do with this? Anyway, I've got a few tarot cards here that I'm going to start the discussion out with. Now, you're probably seeing these backwards, so I apologize for that. Yod He Vav He. Let's just say that it is the engine, it's the machine that drives existence. And it's seen as sort of a family story. Father, Yod, mother, He, Vav, son, He, daughter. And starting off with the father being Godhead and the daughter being the manifest universe. But it doesn't end with the manifest universe. Yod He Vav He isn't a snapshot that gives you a still picture of existence and then throws existence away. Existence is a continual rebirthing dynamo. In Crowley's Star Sapphire Ritual, he gives a formula at the very end after he does or has us creating 4 different kinds of hexagrams. And each of these hexagrams represents a coupling of one element of the Tetragrammaton with another. And it's expressed in the lines, Father, Mother, one God, Ararita. Mother, Son, one God, Ararita. Son, daughter, one God, Ararita. So we've got the creation of the daughter. Seems like the end of the story. What keeps existence existing? It's the next, and the link that keeps existence existing is daughter, father, one God, Ararita. Now, I know that sounds kind of creepy, but in an eternal cosmic court of family law, that incestuousness is not a criminal offense. As a matter of fact, it keeps the universe going. Father, mother, mother, son, son, daughter, daughter, father, etc., etc., etc. Now, in the court cards of the tarot, they're represented as the knight, the queen, the prince, and the princess. Now, we often talk about the princess seemingly being the stepchild of the family, because she doesn't get to rule 10-degree periods or 30-degree periods of the zodiacal year. But even though she's the lowest of the low on the family tree, she is the key. The princess is the throne of the, not only of the father, but she's the throne of the ace itself, the ace of the suit. So it's a pretty important thing, this princess. Now, I hope I'm still going here because something is happening. The princess, seemingly the lowest of the low, is the key to regenerating and returning everything to its original estate. That's also expressed in the small cards. And so the princess equivalent of the small cards would be the tens of each suit. And the suit of discs being the bottom of the supposedly the slowest, the most frozen and slow and cold suit. The princess is the key to jump-starting the whole tarot sequence again. And her small card equivalent is the 10 of discs, because the 10 of discs needs to jumpstart existence again in this capacity. The 10 of discs has to jumpstart to become the ace of wands. But anyway, that is sort of the story I'm trying to explain in the sexual alchemy of the Thoth Tarot, and hopefully I can actually encapsulate that into perhaps a 90-minute workshop. But we'll see. I'm not promising anything here at the moment. Okay, I'm going to read something here to you that Crowley writes throughout the Book of Thoth. The princess represents the He final of the name, Yod He Vav He. They represent the ultimate issue of the original energy in its completion, its crystallization, its materialization. They also represent, he's talking about all the princesses, they also represent the counterbalancing and reabsorption of the energy. They represent the silence into which all things return. They are thus at the same time permanent and non-existent. An audit of the equation 0 equals 2. Then later on he says, for instance, no sooner has the princess made her appearance than the prince wins her in marriage, and she is set upon the throne of her mother. She thus awakens the eld of the original old king, who whereupon becomes a young knight. See, she wakes up the eld of the old king, making him so frisky he becomes a young knight, and so renews the cycle. The princess is not only the perfect maiden, but owing to the death of the prince, the forsaken and lamenting widow. Okay, that's another aspect of this formula. Okay, where am I? Let's talk about the 10 of discs for a second. And here's a view of the 10 of discs. Now it's a tree of life, but with a huge, bloated, swelling malkuth at the bottom. It's like a tree of life that has no place for all of the sediment of existence that filters down, that drifts down from the tree of life that is the wands, and drifts, which dribbles down and starts to settle into the world of cups. And the world of cups starts to trickle down and drip down into the world of swords. And the world of swords can drip down into the world of discs, but when it hits the 10 of discs, it's got no place to go. It is the lowest level, the thickest level of sedimentary existence. I hope I'm still on here. And it's from there that swollen, that constipated tree of life of discs needs to clone itself back to Godhead, back to the ace of wands in this case. So these discs are inscribed with various symbols of a mercurial character. Now, this might not make sense right now, but perhaps in a minute it might make more sense. These discs are inscribed with various symbols of a mercurial character, except that the coin in the place of Hod, okay, that's where my finger is pointing. It's backwards to you. But in every sephira, in 9 sephira, there's a symbol of Mercury. Okay, and it's the suit of Earth. Okay, but in the sphere of Mercury itself is the sun. It's like a pure mercurial petri dish medium is inoculated with the sun. The womb, the ovum of the earth is fertilized by the sun. And we see it also in the hermit's lamp. The hermit is Virgo, that's Earth, and the hermit and Virgo is ruled ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is exalted. Okay, we've got Earth, Mercury, and the Sun. Okay. Now that might not make any sense right now, but hopefully in a second. These discs are inscribed with various symbols of mercurial character, except that the coin in the place of Hode, Mercury, on the tree, is marked with the cipher of the Sun. This indicates the only possibility of issue from the impasse in the constipation produced by the exhaustion of all the elemental forces. At the end of matter must be complete stagnation, were it not that in it is always inherent the will of the Father, the great architect, the great arithmetician, the great geometer. In this case, then, Mercury will represent the Logos, the Word, the Will, the Wisdom, the Eternal Son, and Virgo, the Virgin, in every implication of that symbol. This card is, in fact, a hieroglyph of the cycle of regeneration. Now, hang on for a second, because this is from notes I'm preparing for that workshop. Let's see. Just like the princesses of the tarot, or the princess of the tarot, is the key to jump-starting the ace anew. With the Thoth Tarot, Crowley tried to tell this story in symbolism of alchemy, which I'm calling The Adventures of the Orphic Egg. Now, on HBO, The Adventures of the Orphic Egg. Let me, the Orphic Egg first flies in to the Magus card. You see I hope you can see the egg up there by his hand. It's a little golden egg. It looks like a, what do they call it, a snitch or a, okay. The Orphic Egg first appears, comes flying into the Magus card. And remember, Magus is alchemical Mercury. But anyway, it's like an empty, unfertilized egg flying into the Mercury there. Okay. But first of all, I want you to write something down. And here's a quote from Crowley, and it's in the Book of Thoth somewhere. The climax of the descent into matter. The climax of the descent into matter is the signal for the redintegration by spirit. That's from Crowley's Book of Thoth. For years, my eyes just passed over the word redintegration, and my brain read it as reintegration, and that's not the word. Redintegration is an archaic word that means something entirely different. Redintegration refers to the restoration of the whole of something from just part of it. In other words, it's almost like cloning. Like if you'd take a bottle of wine and magically restore the entire crop of grapes that produce that particular vintage. It is a restoration to a former state. So it's the climax of the descent into matter. Now here's another thing that I would encourage you to write down. The three cosmic players responsible for creating the mode of fulfillment of the great work, this is from Crowley too, are Mercury, Earth, and the Sun. That's the magical formula for creating the mode of fulfillment of the great work. Now, that being said, you know, often you see me wear a baseball cap that's got salt, sulfur, and mercury on the top of it. Well, those are magical ingredients for sure. Sulfur, salt, and mercury. Sulfur as the emperor. Mercury let's see, is fluidity, intelligence, and the power of transmission. Salt is the vehicle of these two forms of energy, but itself possesses qualities which react on them. Okay, salt, sulfur, and mercury. Properly combined and balanced, salt, sulfur, and mercury create vitriol. Let's see if I can find a... Okay, see that, those letters on top of that huge egg? They say, Visita interiora terre rectificando in venes occultum lapidum. Vitriol. It's an acid that eats away everything, that dissolves everything. Visit the interior parts of the earth. By rectification thou shalt find the hidden stone. Now there's one more alchemical thing that we'll be talking about in that workshop, and that's solve et coagula. Solution and coagulation. And in the tarot, the Lover's card is the solve, and the art card, or the old temperance card, is the coagula. So that is part of the adventure of the Orphic egg, which in a sense will be the allegory to our own illumination and return to Godhead. Orphic egg flies in first there in the Magus card, and then we see the egg as one of the characters that is at the wedding, the chemical wedding. Okay, that's where they get married. Then we've got the Orphic egg here with Thoth himself as the hermit, looking like, I am fertilizing you with my gaze. And eventually getting to the point that that big aura in back of the angel there in this card is the Orphic egg not only fertilized, but is just getting ready to hatch. And all that action that's taking place in front of the egg in this image is what's going on inside that. And it's going to take that vitriol, that alchemical combined and balanced combination of salt, sulfur, and mercury to hatch that egg. Anyway, that is that's a preview of a bit more elaborate and probably, hopefully, a bit more clear my comments on the sexual alchemy of the Thoth Tarot, and I'm going to do my best to actually make it available in a link that I can just email you directly, and hopefully you'll be able to play it and see it and hear it and replay it and such. But anyway, I hope that turns out. Not every project I do turns out. As a matter of fact, 1 out of 50. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to finish now, and I hope you heard the whole thing today. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.